The deadly mission. The alien guard shoved the human forward. Jack Carter stumbled but did not fall. He stood straight, even though his hands were tied behind his back. Around him, hundreds of aliens from the Arachno Empire watched from their silver platforms. Their tall blue bodies shimmered under the sun. Their eyes were full of pride and mockery. "This is the one?" said General Kraz, folding his 6 arms. "This weak human is our punishment to the beast?" The crowd laughed, loud and cruel. Jack didn't say anything. His face was calm. His green eyes scanned the open gate in front of him. Dark jungle beyond. Trees stretched into the sky like towers, their leaves sharp like blades. Strange roars and howls echoed from deep inside. This was Granite 7, a jungle world full of dangerous creatures. No alien warrior who entered had ever returned. It was said that the Varun, a massive ancient beast, ruled it with fury. No one had seen it and lived to speak. Now, they were sending him there. A human. "This is not justice," shouted one of the Arachno nobles. "This is entertainment," General Kraz grinned. "Human Jack Carter, today you step into death, but perhaps your screams will amuse us." Jack finally spoke. His voice was calm, steady. "You're afraid," he said. The aliens laughed again, but a few paused. "I've seen soldiers like you before," Jack continued. "Too proud, too soft inside. You think I'll beg. You think I'll run. But I've walked into worse places." The general's smile faded slightly. A soldier came forward and cut the ropes from Jack's hands. He stretched them slowly, feeling blood return. Then he was handed a small survival pack. No gun, no armor. Just a water filter and a knife. "Enjoy your hunt," one guard mocked. Jack stepped toward the jungle gate. He didn't look back. Inside the jungle, everything changed. The air was heavy. The light dimmed. Every step felt like walking into a trap. Giant vines curled like snakes across the ground. Some moved. Jack kept his breathing slow. One wrong sound could attract a predator. He listened, watched, waited. Suddenly, a sharp screech tore through the air. A huge insect-like creature leaped from a tree, its teeth dripped with poison. Jack dropped flat, rolled, and stabbed it under its jaw with his knife. The beast screeched again, but this time in pain. He pulled out his knife, panting. The creature twitched, then died. "That's one," Jack whispered. He kept walking. By nightfall, he had made a small camp near a fallen log. He started a tiny fire using a spark tool hidden in his boot heel, one of the few things they didn't check. Jack was a former soldier, and he never entered a mission unprepared. He ate dried protein from his pack, keeping his back to a thick tree. His eyes stayed on the dark forest. Suddenly he heard it. A low growl, deep, powerful, ancient. The trees in the distance shook. Something huge was moving. Jack stood slowly, holding his knife tighter. He didn't run. He didn't breathe. The growl came again. Closer. Jack whispered to himself. "That's not a creature. That's the creature." He took a few steps forward. Then, from the thick mist, 2 glowing red eyes appeared, high, very high. The beast stepped out of the fog. It was massive, over 20 feet tall. Its body looked like dark metal mixed with flesh, thick black fur on its shoulders, sharp bone-like armor across its chest. Its teeth were long, too long, and its claws could rip a tank apart. Jack didn't move. The Varun tilted its head. They stared at each other, beast and human. Every muscle in Jack's body told him to run. But he stayed. "I'm not here to fight," he said softly. "Not unless I have to." The beast growled again, louder this time. Jack didn't blink. The monster's claws scraped the ground. Its chest rose. Then it turned away, disappeared into the jungle. Jack exhaled, chest pounding. He was still alive. But now he was being watched. The jungle of Death Jack didn't sleep that night. Not after what he saw. The glowing red eyes of the beast still burned in his memory. Its size, its silence, its power. But the most terrifying part wasn't its strength. It was the way it looked at him. Not like prey, like a challenge. By morning, the jungle was alive with danger. Jack moved carefully, checking every step. This place was not just wild, it was aware. Vines moved when his back was turned. Trees seemed to shift ever so slightly. The air buzzed with invisible energy. Something was watching him. He found a broken, alien drone half buried under the roots of a giant tree. Its arachno symbol still glowed weakly. Jack sat beside it and connected a wire from his suit to its port. Static. Then slowly, a voice crackled through. Unit Theta 5. All units lost. The Varun does not kill for food. It kills for a territory. Do not approach. The message cut out. Jack leaned back. So it's not hunting me, he muttered. It's protecting something. That changed everything. As he moved deeper into the jungle, the sky grew darker. Massive leaves blocked out the sun. Bright blue mushrooms glowed from the trees. The ground was soft and full of strange footprints. Some large, others massive. He found signs of old battles, crushed armor, broken weapons, even bones. Many Arachno warriors had died here, torn apart, burned, poisoned. But what surprised Jack more was a mark carved into one of the rocks. A human symbol, an Earth military insignia. Jack's eyes narrowed. Someone else was here. He followed the trail. Hours later, he stumbled into a clearing and froze. In the center, there was a monolith, a black stone, 10 feet high, covered in glowing green alien runes. Around it, dozens of animal skulls were placed in a circle. As Jack stepped forward, the wind suddenly died. Silence. Even the insects stopped. He reached out to touch the stone, and the ground exploded behind him. Jack rolled to the side just in time. From the jungle, a blur of shadow and muscle slammed down with a growl. Varun. But this time, it was faster, smarter. It didn't charge. It circled him slowly, watching. Testing. Jack stood tall. Not here to steal anything, he said. The beast's breath steamed in the cold air. Its claws clicked on the stone. Jack dropped his knife. Then, slowly he took off his backpack, pulled out the last of his dried rations and placed them on the ground, then stepped back. The Varun sniffed it, ate one, then looked at Jack again. No growl, no attack, only silence. Then, to Jack's shock, the creature walked past him and sat by the monolith. Jack stayed still for minutes, barely breathing. Was this a trick or an invitation? He moved slowly and sat down across from it. The beast didn't stop him. It stared at the monolith. Jack stared at the beast. Something unspoken passed between them. 2 survivors, 2 enemies. But in that moment, equals. That night, Jack stayed near the clearing. Not too close to the Varun, but not far either. A kind of invisible line had formed. A line of trust. As he stared at the sky, Jack whispered, "They sent me to die." The beast let out a low sound, not a growl. More like a rumble, almost like it understood. Jack smiled slightly. "They're going to be surprised when I return." The first encounter. By the 3rd day, Jack wasn't just surviving. He was observing. He had seen the beast twice more. Each time, it didn't attack. It stayed near the monolith like a silent guardian. But now Jack noticed patterns. The Varun came at dawn and at dusk. It circled the stone. It waited. It watched. It was protecting something. But what? That morning, Jack did something bold. He stepped into the circle. Slowly. No sudden moves. The Varun stood across the stone. Its massive body tensed. Its red eyes flared. One step more and... Jack stopped. Then, very carefully, he sat down in the dirt, cross-legged, palms open, peaceful, and then he spoke. I don't know why you're here, but I know what it feels like. To lose everything. The jungle was quiet. The wind paused. The trees didn't move. I was a soldier. I fought for my people. And they gave me up. The beast didn't move. Jack reached into his pack and pulled out something small. A broken photo. It showed a young girl, smiling, happy. My daughter, he said softly. She thinks I died years ago. Maybe she's right. He placed the photo down gently, then looked at the beast. I didn't come here to die. I came here to live. The Varoon stepped forward. Its shadow covered Jack completely. Jack stayed still. It bent low, sniffed the photo, sniffed Jack. Its breath was hot, heavy. Then, it sat down, not across the stone this time, beside him. That night, everything changed. Jack was collecting wood when a sharp cry echoed through the trees. He rushed toward the sound and found a smaller creature, an alien feline, caught in a trap. A cruel arachno device made of barbs and poison needles, the creature hissed. Jack approached slowly. Easy. I'm not here to hurt you. He cut the trap open and poured a small healing serum on the wounds. The feline limped away, but not before, brushing lightly against his leg. Jack turned and saw the Varoon watching from the trees. It had seen everything. Later at the monolith, the beast came close again. This time it dropped something in front of Jack, a piece of metal armor. Arachno design, a gift, a warning? Jack picked it up. It had claw marks and burns. This belonged to one of the warriors they sent before me, Jack said. You defeated him. The beast didn't react. Then Jack added, but you didn't destroy it. You kept it. He understood now. The Varoon didn't hate intruders. It hated cruelty. The next morning the jungle roared. A hunting squad had entered. Jack heard their voices. Arachno soldiers. They were armed, armored, loud. They weren't looking for Jack. They were hunting the beast. Jack moved fast, cutting through vines and mud. He didn't shout, didn't scream. He knew the beast could hear him. He ran toward the gunfire. Explosions boomed in the distance, then silence. When Jack arrived, he found chaos. 3 alien soldiers unconscious, one with a broken arm, another stuck in the mud, terrified. But the Varoon wasn't killing them. It was protecting its space, defending its rules. Jack stepped in front of the beast, arms raised. They're leaving, he said. They don't belong here. The beast snarled low but stepped back. The Arachno soldiers ran. That evening, Jack sat with the beast again. He spoke gently. You had every reason to destroy me, but you didn't. The beast tilted its head. Jack smiled. Maybe we're both tired of war. Then he did something no one ever dared. He reached out and placed a hand on the beast's thick hide. It didn't move, and in that moment, the wildest beast in the galaxy became something else, a companion, bond of the wild. The jungle was no longer a prison. For Jack, it had become a path, a strange living road that led him deeper into something unexpected. Not just survival, not even escape. It was trust, a kind of friendship that no one in the galaxy would believe. One morning, Jack awoke to find something lying near his campfire. Fresh meat, recently hunted. He looked around. No signs of danger, but high above, half hidden in the shadows of a giant tree, Varoon watched silently. The beast had brought him food. Jack gave a nod, just a small gesture. The beast blinked, slowly, and vanished into the trees. The wild had accepted him. Over the next few days, Jack followed Varoon through the jungle, not as a hunter or prey, but like a shadow. The beast never stopped him. Sometimes it even waited. Jack learned the land, learned the sounds. He moved like a ghost, silent among the living world. Then one evening, he saw the creature bleed. A razor leaf plant lashed out at Varoon's leg during a jump. Jack rushed to its side without fear. The beast snarled reflex but did not strike. Jack knelt, cleaning the wound with water and wrapping it with jungle fibers and med gel. He worked quickly, gently. The beast growled again, but softer this time, almost like a deep purr. "It's okay," Jack said. "You're not alone." That night they rested side by side, not touching, but close. Jack shared his last protein bar. The beast didn't eat it, but nudged it back to him. A silent command, "You need this more." They understood each other in silence. Days passed. Together, they hunted. Jack used traps and tricks. Varun used raw power. They protected each other. And slowly Jack noticed something else. Varun wasn't just guiding him. It was teaching him. One day the beast led Jack into a hidden valley, one even the Arachno Empire didn't know about. There, under glowing waterfalls and strange crystal trees, Jack saw the heart of the jungle, the sacred place. Hundreds of bones surrounded a glowing orb resting on a stone pillar. Not just animal bones, but alien too. Warriors, invaders, trespassers, all failed. Jack stared at the orb. It pulsed like a heartbeat. "What is this?" he whispered. Varun stepped closer, placed one claw on the orb, and pushed it toward Jack. It was giving it to him. A gift, or a test. As Jack touched the orb, visions slammed into his mind. Not pain. Memories. He saw Varun's past, alone since birth, hiding, hunted, surviving endless waves of killers. Over time it learned. It evolved. It felt sorrow, rage, and hope. Jack saw his own face in the memory. The moment he didn't run. The moment he didn't fight. That was the moment everything changed. The jungle accepted him not because he was strong, but because he was different. Jack fell to his knees, breathing hard. Varun came close and pushed its head gently against his shoulder. For the first time, Jack reached up and hugged the monster. Not as a beast, but as a brother. Later, back at the monolith, Jack carved something with his knife. Not a message for the aliens, a symbol for the future, a human hand and a beast's claw. Joined together, he looked up at the sky. Soon he would return, and when he did, he wouldn't be the same, and neither would the galaxy. The return it began with a tremor, a soft shake in the earth beneath the Arachno city. At first, no one noticed. Then the ground pulsed again, stronger. Nobles stepped back from their crystal balconies. Soldiers reached for weapons. The jungle was moving. Something massive was coming. The guards turned toward the great jungle gate, the very gate through which they had thrown the human to die, and now, something was walking out. The twin iron doors groaned as roots cracked and vines fell away. Silhouetted in the mist was a beast, 20 feet tall, red eyes glowing like fire. Its armored hide was layered with mud and battle scars. On its back was tribal paint, and on its shoulder rode a man, Jack Carter, alive, calm, and riding Varun like a king on a throne. The alien crowd gasped. In the grand tower, General Kraz stood frozen. This is impossible," he whispered. The nobles around him stepped back. Some screamed, others dropped their cups. One fainted, but Jack didn't speak. He let the silence speak for him. Varun walked past the alien guards, who backed away in terror. Its breath steamed into the air, hot and wild, but it didn't attack. It ignored them. It stopped only when it reached the center of the plaza. Jack dismounted with ease. He held up something in his hand, the glowing orb gifted by the beast. "This," he said, "is the heart of your cursed jungle." He dropped it at Kraz's feet. No beast claimed it, no Arachno ever touched it. But I did. And I lived. The High Empress arrived, carried on a floating throne. Her long silver robes sparkled like stars. She stared at the human with sharp, curious eyes. "You tamed the untamable?" she asked softly. "No," Jack replied. We understood each other. He turned to Varun. The creature growled low, not in threat, but in warning. "She's testing us. Jack whispered to the beast. Kraz stepped forward. Furious, embarrassed. You cheated death. But you are still nothing. A pet keeper. This beast is a threat to our empire. Jack's eyes hardened. Funny, he said. You called me the animal. But the beast showed more mercy than your soldiers ever did. Kraz raised a weapon. In a blink, Varun roared. The shockwave shattered windows. The ground cracked beneath its claws. The crowd screamed and fled. Kraz fell to his knees, clutching his ears. His weapon dropped. Jack didn't flinch. He placed a calm hand on the beast's leg. It's okay, he's not worth it. The Empress stood slowly. You have shown strength, human, not by force, but by bond. She looked at the crowd. This man entered the jungle. Alone, unarmed, banished, and returned not only alive, but chosen by the Guardian itself. She paused. Let all remember this day. The day a human walked into death and came back with a god at his side. The plaza fell silent. Then, slowly, some of the aliens bowed, not to Varun, to Jack. That night, Jack stood on a high balcony overlooking the city. Beside him sat Varun, calm, watching the stars. You're free now, Jack said quietly. You don't owe me anything. Varun didn't move. It simply stayed. Because it chose to. Jack looked at the alien lights below. Tomorrow he would speak for Earth. Not as a prisoner, but as a legend. The human challenge. The Arachno arena had not seen a crowd this big in 50 years. Thousands filled the glowing seats. Warriors, nobles, diplomats from distant stars all gathered for one reason. To see if the human's victory was real. Or just a trick of luck. In the center, the battleground stood wide and brutal. Giant blades spun from the walls. Lava pits opened and closed. Electrified chains dangled like hungry vines. This was not a test of strength. It was a spectacle of survival. And Jack Carter was walking into it, by choice. From a sky bridge above, General Kraz sneered. Let's see if he still talks big when his bones are dust. He turned to the Empress. With respect, Your Radiance, we must test the bond between the beast and the human. If it's real, they will fight together. If it's a lie, he dies. Umbiomo, Empress nodded. The jungle chose him. Now we shall see why. Jack stood at the gate below. He wore simple armor, Arachno design, scratched and heavy. No gun, just two curved blades strapped to his back. Around his neck hung a small charm carved by Varun from jungle wood. He reached out and placed his hand on the creature's forehead. Stay or go. Your choice, he whispered. Varun let out a low growl, then stepped forward, into the arena. 3 massive gates opened. From them charged Arachno champions, one wielding a hammer that glowed with plasma, another with razor-sharp whips, and the third, a 4-legged brute with molten spikes on its back. The crowd roared. The fight began. The first warrior rushed at Jack, swinging the hammer. Jack dodged, rolled under, and slashed the warrior's knee. The champion stumbled but turned fast, ready to crush him. Then Varun arrived, leaping across the arena. Its claw came down like thunder. Crack. The hammer shattered. The warrior flew across the arena wall like a ragdoll. The crowd fell silent, but the other 2 didn't stop. The whip wielder danced around the beast, slicing its skin, laughing. The molten brute locked horns with Varun, trying to push it back. Jack charged toward the whip alien, dodging coils and sparks. One whip wrapped around his leg. He spun, grabbed it, and yanked the warrior into his sword. A clean strike. Not fatal, but enough. The whip dropped. Meanwhile, Varun was locked. In a test of raw power, the molten brute spat fire into its face. Jack didn't wait. He climbed a pillar, leaped off, and drove both blades into the brute's back. Together, man and beast brought it down. The arena trembled. Then, silence. High above, the Empress stood. Her voice echoed through the arena. This was no pet. She paused. This was no trick. She looked directly at Jack. This was unity. The crowd erupted in cheers. Even some of the Arachno warriors clapped, stunned. Jack helped Varun to its feet. The beast limped slightly, but nodded. They had won. Together. Later that night, Jack sat by a fire in a royal chamber. An honored guest, no longer a prisoner, the Empress offered him a goblet of glowing blue wine. "You fought with honor," she said. "Even our own did not." Jack looked at the stars through the glass ceiling. "I didn't fight for honor," he replied. "I fought because someone finally stood by me." He turned to Varun, who lay peacefully near the wall. The galaxy would never see them the same again. A new legend begins. They gave him a palace. They gave him gold, food, and titles. But Jack Carter didn't care about those. All he asked for was silence, and a place where Varun could sleep peacefully. Weeks had passed since the arena. The galaxy buzzed with rumors. The human who rode the jungle god. The beast that chose a friend. The man who came back from death and changed everything. The Arachno Empire had no choice but to honor him. Across star systems, other species started asking questions. If a human could survive Granach 7, if a human could befriend the Varun, then maybe humans weren't weak. Maybe they were something else. Dangerous, unpredictable, powerful. One day, a child from the Arachno elite snuck into the garden where Jack sat under a tree. The child approached slowly, staring wide-eyed at the giant beast resting nearby. "Is it safe?" she asked. Jack looked up from carving a wooden figure. "He's only dangerous to those who lie," Jack replied with a soft smile. The girl giggled and reached out. Varun opened one eye, sniffed her hand, and went back to sleep. Jack looked up at the sky. "I wonder if she'd believe this story," he said. He reached into his pocket and pulled out the worn photo of his daughter, the only piece of Earth he still carried. One of the palace guards, a quiet alien named Jurok, stepped forward. "You have done what none ever could. Will you return to your home world now?" Jack stared at the picture for a long moment, then he shook his head. "No, not yet. There's more work here." That evening, a meeting of all major alien leaders was held. The Empress herself introduced Jack. "This man has done more than win our tests," she said. "He has awakened our honor. He has shown us the value of trust, mercy, and wild loyalty." She looked down at him. "We offer you a seat at the Galactic Council." Jack stood. "I'm not a politician, I'm a survivor. But if you're asking whether I'll speak for those without a voice, then yes." Behind him, Varun stood tall, clean, calm, wearing an elegant armored collar, designed not to chain him, but to show he was respected. In the following months, Jack used his new power to bring peace to border planets, end cruel arena games, and stop the Arachno from using jungle prisoners as sport. He freed over 100 humans, still kept in low-class labor camps. But he didn't act alone. Wherever Jack went, Varun walked beside him. No words, no speeches, just presence. Enough to silence a room. Enough to change hearts. One day, Jack stood before a new statue being built in the plaza, where he once stood as a prisoner. It showed two figures, a man with a blade and a beast with glowing eyes standing side by side. The base read, "Brothers of the Wild, Keepers of Honor." Jack smiled, not because of pride, but because now, no one could say humans didn't belong. That night, before sleeping, Jack spoke quietly to Varun. "No, I thought I came here to die." He chuckled. "But I found a friend." Varun rumbled softly, his version of a laugh. Jack leaned back, hands behind his head, staring at the stars. "I wonder what's next." Far above, among the stars, something shimmered. A distant shadow moved. Another story waiting, but this time, Jack wouldn't face it alone.